Hello everyone, it's Marie here from Pepperly Rose Paper Crafting. I am an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in Sydney, Australia. Thank you so much for joining me. First off the bat, I would like to apologise for any noise you may or may not hear. It depends if the microphone picks it up in the background. We have construction going on at the moment outside our place and they are particularly noisy today. So if you hear that noise, I am very, very sorry. But this is the only time I have to make this video. So please bear with me, and I just wanted to thank you as well for watching my channel. I appreciate you taking time out of your day to do so. I know time is precious, so I thank you all very much. I'd like to thank my new subscribers. Thank you guys so much for subscribing to my channel, and for those that leave comments and likes and have been subscribed as well for a very long time. I want to thank you for your ongoing support. I really, really appreciate it. If you have any ideas for any future videos you would like to see from me, please don't hesitate to leave a comment below and let me know what you would like to see. I'm more than happy to make videos for you that you would, appreciate watching. So thank you all so much in advance. Okay, so today's card is something I have in my head. I haven't quite perfected it as yet, but I thought, why not? I'll just go for it. So I'm using I'm going to be doing a technique where I'm going to be doing a marbling effect, and I'll be using things like ink blending, embossing, and also heat embossing as well. So we'll go through it all as we go along, so I don't sit there and explain it all as, at the beginning. So the stuff I'll be using today, we'll get straight into it, is the Old World Paper 3D Embossing Folder, the Subtle 3D Embossing Folder, the Stitched Leaves Dies. I'm also going to be using the Tasteful Labels Dies, and I'll be using this one here for a sentiment. I'm using the good old Layering Circles dies, the largest circle, and the Blossoms in Bloom stamp set. Love, love, love the sentiments in this stamp set. I love the typewriter type font, and I'll be using the thank you. So we'll get started to do this straight away. There's going to be lots of die cutting, just as a warning, and embossing. So to start off with, I'm going to be using a thick Whisper White card base. It's half an A4 and scored in half again, and I've already pre-scored it. So I'm just going to fold and burnish the score line and use my bone folder to burnish that down. Make sure it's nice and crisp. And I like to do it on either side. And then what I'm going to do with this card base is not leave it as is. What I want to do is add some texture to make it look like it has this texture naturally. So the Subtle 3D folder is going to come in handy for this. So what I'm going to do is pop one side of it in here, and it's a good idea to fold and burnish beforehand so that you don't have issues when you fold and burnish after you have embossed it that it didn't come out right. So now I'll just make sure that I get all of the embossing folder in that side like that, and I'm going to put that through my die cutting machine. So I'll just put that there. So for this particular embossing folder is the Sitiched one, which is the suppliers before of Stampin' Up. So what I'll be using is a plate, just one regular cutting plate for that. Now ordinarily you would put the spine of the embossing folder first in, but because we're doing the card base, you can put it on the side. So that's what I'm going to do, sideways like this, and I'm going to crank that through. Okay, and as you'll see, look at that beautiful texture. And I'm going to do the other side as well. So it looks like that is the actual card base. So if you like, say, for example, basil cardstock, that is how you do it. All right, so now I'll put the other side right to the score line. So I'll just make sure I get that all in and nice and even. Okay, and I'll put that through. All right, so we will leave the machine out. So both sides of this cardstock are now looking like basil cardstock, okay? So this adds a beautiful texture and it does a lot of the work for you just as a card base, because everything else is going to be pretty simple, so I'm just letting you know. Now I'll just grab some of my old plates because I prefer using those. So just bear with me for a second. I'll just grab those when I'm doing my die cutting. If you have old Sitiched plates, continue to use them. They do work in the Stampin' Up machine. So if you have Sitiched plates and then you've just bought this machine, know that they will still work in here, okay? There's no problems at all. All right, so I've got my old plates here. I want to keep my others as pristine as possible. So these will last you for years if you use them that way as well. So I'm going to die cut some leaves. No, actually, first off, I'm going to die cut a circle. So I'm going to use some Whisper White cardstock, and I'm going to grab my circle dies, and I'm using the largest circle. I'm going to cut that out. Okay, so that's all cut out. Then I'm going to grab my Stitch Shapes dies. Actually, sorry, my Stitched Leaves dies. And I'm going to cut out some leaves. So the leaves I'm going to cut out are this one, along with the actual bits that emboss the stitching or cut the stitching a little bit through. This die here, and I'm going to also use one of these as well. And the colours for these leaves I'm going to use are grey granite, what's this one called? Sahara sand, and basic grey. Sorry, I forgot all the names. Isn't that terrible? Just had a bit of a mental blank. That happens to me often if you are new to my channel, and I'm very sorry. I tend to blank out a little bit because I forget the names of things. All right. So to start off with this basic grey, I'm going to use the longer leaf along with its bit that has the stitches on it. And I'll try and no, it won't, or will it? Yes, it will. Okay, goody. Try and do it in less passes as possible. I'm going to use the larger leaf in the grey granite. I think that's grey granite, isn't it? Yeah. And I'll pass that through the machine. Misplaced my plate there for a second. Look at how beautiful that is, and that detail, it's just gorgeous. I love it. Okay, so that one's done. And then I'll show you the grey granite one. Isn't that beautiful? Just gorgeous. Love the texture, love the stitching, love everything about these dies. And then you don't need a piece this large, but I'm using Sahara sand for this leaf here. This is going to be quite like monochromatic look. Really like in the greys and the brown greys realm. And so we'll just do all that die cutting and get it over and done with. And that's it in Sahara sand. Beautiful, just gorgeous. All right, now whilst we have the die cutting machine out, we are going to emboss this with the Old World embossing folder. And I call this the paper crumpling embossing folder. And this one, because it's a 3D folder, it needs the plate number 4. So it's plate number 1, your embossing folder with your cardstock in it, and plate number 4. And we run that through the die cutting machine. And then that is it with the die cutting. So that's all done now. And the embossing. And as you can see, there's a debossed side and an embossed side. We're going to concentrate on the debossed side. No, the embossed side, sorry. I'm getting that all mixed up. The embossed side. So, I'll put these plates and things away. All right, now, what I would like to do with this now purposefully crumpled up circle is I'm going to use my embossing buddy or an anti-static pouch, powder tool, whatever you have. Stampin' Up used to sell them and then they retired them. I don't know why, but anyway, we're going to do that. Actually, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to ink blend these. Silly me. But anyway, let's ink blend it now. Ordinarily, you should do it beforehand, not now. Oh, I'm so silly. I am so silly. So what I'm going to do is use my basic grey and I'll ink blend that. It kind of gives you like a marbled look anyway when you do that. It looks really cool actually. I like that. Who knew? Alright, now I'm going to get my basic grey and I'll just wipe off the grey granite on that. Use this. Then I'm going to clean off my makeup brush. Now, if you've noticed some demonstrations lately of demonstrators that attended on stage, which is an event this year, they did it virtually. I didn't attend it this year for various reasons, but personal. Anyway, and as you're aware, I've been using these makeup brushes for like a couple of years, 2-3 years now. So Stampin' Up has finally caught up and they've released their own brushes. I'm quite happy using my current makeup brushes, which are quite inexpensive. And yeah, so it's kind of the same thing. Up to you if you want to get them through Stampin' Up or elsewhere. Now I'm using the basic grey. And I'll just do that with that. Now I actually really like the effect of this as is. So I'll bring it up close so you can see the colours. And it looks like marble, like it looks so cool. And And I might add flecks of gold in it just to make it interesting. Just to add a little bit of interest. So I'm just cleaning this. I'm going to clean this. And the secret to ink blending as well, if you're not aware, is using a slick surface. So using even a laminated piece of cardstock's a good idea. Or you can have one of these sheets, it's up to you. What I'm going to do now is with this is add the powder tool, the embossing buddy, over the top of this. So it doesn't go in places it's not supposed to go to. And with this, I'm just going to just use the edge of the Versamark ink pad. I'm going to pick this up and I'll just add very lightly little flecks, just like that. Doesn't have to be all over, but I'm just doing it just, you know, just to see what happens. Then I'm going to grab my gold embossing powder. And I'm going to tip the gold embossing powder over the top of this. And you'll see some bits picked up, some didn't. And it looks like that. Now, even if there's bits that didn't take up, it doesn't matter. I'm going to leave it on. So what I'm going to do now off camera is I'm going to heat emboss this. And then I'll be back and show you the effect of it. I absolutely love this little circle. It is so beautiful. So I'll see you shortly. Okay, so I have just finished embossing this and I am blown away by how beautiful that looks. That is just absolutely stunning. I love, love, love this effect. The marbling effect with the old world 3D embossing folder, old world paper. And it, oh my gosh, and the mistake I made by doing ink blending on top of the embossed part where the bits are sticking out made it look even more stunning. I am just amazed. And look at that with the gold embossing. It just adds that special. I just love this. I can't believe it. It is so, so beautiful. Love, love, love. So now this is with the texturized card base and it is just absolutely stunning. I love this thing. I just love it. Look at that. It's just so beautiful. I can't get over it. Okay. Now, what I'll do is bring the leaves. We may make some changes. I'm not sure, but we'll just have a little look and see how that looks. Oh my. Oh wow. So we'll just have it like here and a little bit to the right. We'll try not to cover too much of that beautiful marbling effect because it's just absolutely stunning. And then we have this leaf down here. We'll make that all point to one area and have that up there. Oh my, this is so, so beautiful. I'm in love. I'm so in love. All right, so maybe I'll just turn this around and see how I want this to look. And I think we will keep this busier part in here, like that. Oh wow, I think I like that layout, but I'm not sure about this leaf here in that colour. Just hang on, I'm trying to think, or even get rid of that colour and make that stand out even more. I'll put that behind actually. Yeah, I'll put that behind. And oh wow, okay. I'll do that, I think. And we can even cut the stems. I'll just bring some scissors and make the stems a little shorter. They don't have to be that long. And I'll bring my tweezers as well. Sorry, I knew I forgot something. Okay, so with these leaves, I think that's a bit long, so I'm just going to cut that down to about there. Oh, just wow. Wow, wow. And then, and I'll pop that down here and more this way. Yeah, all right, so what I'll do now is I will stick these down, and I'll probably make this go quick because I might change my mind as I go along. All right, so bear with me. Okay, so I've stuck this down in a way that I think will work best for this, because I don't want to cover up too much of this, but then again, let me have a little fiddle. I think that that looks much better, and with the glue being a bit wet, still I was able to do that. So what I'll do now is I'm going to stick this whole thing up on dimensionals. So I'll just quickly grab those, and then we're going to emboss a sentiment. And I'll just put the dimensionals on in advance. And I'll put one about there and one up here. Now I don't want to stick the leaves down too much because I want there to be a little bit of movement and a lift behind. So I will not take off the dimensionals, but that gives you an idea of what that looks like on here. And then what I want to do is emboss the sentiment "Thank You" with the Blossoms in Bloom stamp set. And I was thinking of putting that down here. So I'll just grab my embossing buddy. And I'll grab my Stamparatus. Forgot to bring that. And this will help me to stamp it accurately, because I much prefer using my stamping tool, stamp platform, because it just helps me to really make sure it's accurate. So I'll leave all of my plates there. Then I'll grab the "Thank You." And I'm going to heat emboss this as well in gold. So I'll do that now. And I'm just using scraps from eons ago. Pop that in. Oh, I think that embossed nicely. That's going to emboss nicely. All right, so that's that over there. And then I'll get some gold embossing powder. And you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, there's not going to be enough room for my die, so I'll use another piece of cardstock actually. Silly me. I forgot I'm going to be using a die. So I'll do this again. I'll just do that. grab my Stamparatus. Get my thank you all organised around up here. And we're going to cut this out with our die. Use my Versamark. And then we're going to do that. And then I'm going to use my gold embossing powder, and then I'm going to emboss this off camera. And then I'll be back. And there you go. So I'll be back shortly. So now I'm back and I have just finished heat embossing that, and look how that's turned out. Isn't that beautiful? I love that on vellum. So what I'll now do is grab the Tasteful Labels dies. These are phenomenal. I love these dies, and I'm going to use this one with the banner and the stitching, and I think it's gorgeous and it fits this perfectly. Now there will be a bit here that will not emboss, cut out well, and that's fine by me because I'm going to be tucking this underneath something, so it doesn't worry me. So I'll just grab some painter's tape and I'll make sure that I have this even. I put my painter's tape here. Do that again. Okay. I'm going to cut that out with our machine. So you need your platform 1, 2, and 2 number 3s, or 2 cutting plates that you may have from your Sizzix Big Shot. Doesn't matter, whatever you've got, use it. And I'll pop this on here. And I'll run that through. And I am now done with my machine for good now. All right. See that? Isn't that cute? I love how this turned out. So I'll just get rid of my painter's tape. Carefully remove that. So that embossing piece of cardstock is now ready to use for another project. Put that away. So now I'm going to figure out where I'm going to put this thank you sentiment, and I'm glad I used, and I'll put that over there. There we go. Yeah, and I'm glad I've used vellum because it still allows you to see through the details on the other side as well, so it's really nice. So I'm going to use a tiny bit of glue just on the edge there and let that stick up onto the leaves there. So it's just on the top there, no one's going to see it, and just kind of tuck it in underneath and just position it the way you would like it. So in my case I'd like that there. Absolutely gorgeous. I just love the way this turned out. It's better than what I expected, it really is. So I'm just going to take off all of the backings of my dimensionals. I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial and just have a different way of using your stuff. I kind of agonize over my designs, so when I come up with something like this, I'm really like, I get thrilled by it. I just love it. So much fun. And I like thinking outside the square at times as well. Doesn't always happen, but when it does, I'm thrilled with the results. And I hope you are too, and I hope it makes it more fun for you and to help you to use your products in a different way. So we're going to angle this in the middle, equal on either the top and the bottom, and as even as you can. The circle may need to be in the middle, and I don't mind that the leaves are more to the side. That's okay, as long as it's within the card, so it makes it easy to mail off. So that's that. Isn't that gorgeous? Now on the inside, because it's been texturized, I've got a piece of Whisper White cardstock that I'm just going to stick over there, and it will give the cardstock some stability, because once you run that through, even though it's thick, the embossing machine with the folder, it kind of weakens the fibers a little bit of the cardstock, so it makes it seem soft again, if you can see like that. So to write in it and what have you, I'm now just going to put a blank piece of white cardstock. You can also just emboss half of it, but I wanted to look like that was the whole card base. So stick that down. And now that card base is kind of thick again. And that is my finished card for today. Isn't that the coolest? I hope you like it. And yeah, just love the way that turned out. I really love it. It is so beautiful. And, you know, feel free to change up how you do that. I found that a little too busy and a little too much. So I just wanted to have like a little bit of just flecks of gold. And it looks like just marble. So marble circle with some leaves. And I love the neutral palette. This can be used for masculine, whatever occasion you want. You can even add a happy birthday. I just love it. Clean, simple, textured, and absolutely beautiful. So I'll go over the products that I used today very quickly, so that if you haven't got these, I suggest you get them and just use them in a fun way. So I've got the Blossoms in Bloom stamp set. This is a photopolymer as well, so that makes it nice and easy for you to position your images and sentiments. I love this. So we also use the Stitched Leaves Dies. These are gorgeous. The Tasteful Labels Dies are a must. They don't have to be used in a bundle. You can just buy them on their own, and you can use them with whatever sentiment and whatever card you wish. The Old World paper, gorgeous. Now in the catalogue they use that along with you know, nautical and you know, map kind of stuff. You can use that for this as well. Just gorgeous. The Layering Circles dies are a must. These are great to have just generally. You can use them for absolutely everything, including puncher art. And my divine, beautiful, subtle 3D embossing folder. I absolutely love, love, love this folder. So I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to let me know and leave a comment below, and I'll be more than happy to get back to you. I usually get back to everybody within 24 hours. If you want to contact me through my online store, you may do so at pepperlyrosepapercrafting.stampinup.net. And if you don't have a demonstrator here in Australia and you would like to buy from me, I would really appreciate your business. And if you would like to get all this stuff at a discount, join my team, and you'll be able to receive a 20% discount on your product. So that's one way of getting your crafting supplies a little cheaper, and best of all, they all coordinate, so you don't have to run here, there and everywhere to grab supplies that match and can make your projects look professional, nice and unique as well. Thanks guys for watching. I really appreciate it, and I can't wait to see you again next time. Bye for now.